KP Sharma Oli. Khadga Prasad Sharma Oli, born 22 February 1952, is a Nepalese politician and former Prime Minister of Nepal. He served 3 terms as Prime Minister from 11 October 2015 to 3 August 2016, from 15 February 2018 to 13 May 2021 as the first elected Prime Minister under the new constitution, and from 13 May 2021 to 13 July 2021. Oli is noted for taking a more hardline stance with regard to the Indian government during and in the aftermath of the 2015 Nepal blockade. He strengthened relations with China as an alternative to Nepal's traditional close trade ties with India and updated the map of Nepal by constitutional amendment, including territories disputed with India, for which he has received some domestic praise and a reputation as a nationalist. While in office, Oli was marred by controversy for frequent use of tongue-in-cheek remarks, hostility towards critics and the media, silence on corruption by colleagues and business aides, failing to deliver on economic growth, and for deviating from promised budgetary expenditures despite a historic majority in the 2017 legislative election. Early life. Oli was born on 22 February 1952 in Alfrai, Tayratham, as the eldest child of Mohan Prasad and Matu Mayor Oli in a Brahmin family of farmers. He belongs to a Kumani Brahmin family. Oli was raised by his grandmother, Ramaya, after his mother died of smallpox when he was 4. He completed his primary school education in Tayratham and moved to Joppa in 1962. Oli adheres to Hinduism. Early political career. Oli began his political career in 1966 in opposition to the Pautalist Panchayat system in place at the time. He joined the Communist Party of Nepal in February 1970. He was involved in subversive politics and was arrested for the first time in 1970. A year later he became a district committee member of the party and soon the chief of the Joppa Movement Organizing Committee in 1972. Oli was imprisoned for 14 consecutive years from 1973 to 1987 for being against autocratic panchayat system. After his release from prison in 1987, he became a central committee member of Communist Party of Nepal, Unified Marxist-Leninist, and in charge of the Lumbini zone until 1990. Multi-Party Democracy 1991-2006. Multi-Party Democracy 1991-2006. After the 1990 People's Movement, he was elected to the House of Representatives from Joppa 6 in 1991. He was appointed Chief of the Foreign Relations Department of the CPN-UML in 1992. He was re-elected to the Parliament in 1994 and served as the Minister for Home Affairs in Mamo Hanatekary's minority government. He was re-elected from in 1999 for Joppa constituencies 2 and 6, upon which he gave up his Joppa 6 seat. Transition period. Oli was appointed Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Foreign Affairs as part of the interim government of Khadga Prasad Sharma Oli in 2006. He was also assigned to look into the death of fellow politician Madan Bhandari. He was defeated in the 2008 Constituent Assembly election from Joppa 7. He also lost the election for the position of chairman to Jalanath Khanal during the 8th General Convention of CPN-UML in 2009. He was elected from Joppa 7 in the 2013 Constituent Assembly election and became leader of the CPN-UML Parliamentary Party on 4 February 2014, defeating party chairman Khanal by a vote of 98 to 75 in the Parliamentary Party. Oli was subsequently elected as the chairman of CPN-UML in July 2014 during the party's 9th General Convention. First premiership. Oli was elected Prime Minister in a parliamentary vote on 11 October 2015, receiving 338 votes out of 597 members in the Legislature Parliament. Oli's candidacy was supported by the Unified Communist Party of Nepal, Maoist, Rastriya Prajatantra Party Nepal, and Madhesi Janautikar Forum, along with 13 other small parties. He was sworn in on 12 October. His first stint was dominated by the economic blockade imposed by India upon the promulgation of the Constitution of Nepal. He took a defiant stance against India's position to amend the constitution and sign trade and transit treaties with China to counter Indian independence. Following the withdrawal of support from CPN Maoist Centre on 13 July 2016 from the existing coalition government and subsequent registration of a no-confidence motion by the party on 14 July 2016, the CPN-UML-led government and Prime Minister Oli seemingly shrank into a minority, pressuring him to resign. However, CPN-UML decided to discuss the filed no-confidence motion in the House, which led to a 3-day parliamentary meeting of the concerned parties. During the process, 2 other major parties, the Rastriya Prajatantra Party and Madhesi Janautikar Forum, also withdrew their support from the coalition. On the 3rd day, 24 July 2016, after addressing the opposition parties in Parliament, Oli announced his resignation. The Indian government was accused of conspiring and bringing down Oli as he stood firm against the economic blockade imposed by India, an allegation categorically rejected by the Ministry of External Affairs of India. Second premiership. Oli was appointed Prime Minister for a second time on 15 February 2018 after CPN-UML became the largest party in the House of Representatives following the 2017 legislative elections with support from Communist Party of Nepal Marxist Centre, the same party whose withdrawal of support had led to resignation in his first term. He passed a motion of confidence on 11 March 2018 with 208 out of 268 votes in the 275-member House of Representatives. The left alliance of the CPN-UML and CPN-Marxist Centre merged to form the Nepal Communist Party NCP on 17 May 2018, turning Oli's coalition government to a majority and giving him a two-third majority in the House. In May 2020, the Oli government unveiled new maps of the country including the disputed territories of Kalpani, Lipulekh and Limpiadhura in response to the inauguration of a road across the Lipulekh Pass by the Indian government, which led to a cartographic war between the two countries. The government swiftly brought a constitutional amendment bill to amend the official map and emblem of the country in the parliament, which was passed unanimously in both houses before being authenticated by President Bidya Devi Bhandari. In December 2020, the Oli government recommended the dissolution of the House of Representatives and called for fresh elections on 30 April and 10 May 2021, a step that was readily endorsed by the president. Oli took this step after a series of infighting in the ruling NCP, which culminated with a faction of the party, led by former Prime Ministers Pushpakamal Dahal and Madhav Kumar Nepal, planning to register a motion of no confidence against Oli in the House. Oli's reluctance in withdrawing a controversial Constitutional Council Act further led to tensions in the ruling party. This decision from Oli was overturned by the Supreme Court on 23 February 2021, when the constitutional bench led by Chief Justice Kaulendra Shamtirana deemed the dissolution of the House to be unconstitutional and called for the House to be reinstated and a meeting of the Parliament to be held within 13 days. Oli accepted the verdict of the Supreme Court and called for a meeting of the Parliament on 7 March. On 7 March 2021, the Supreme Court delivered a landmark ruling awarding the Nepal Communist Party to Risharam Kadal after he had challenged the Election Commission's ruling of providing the name of his party to the NCP formed after the merger of CPN-UML and CPN-Marxist Centre. The court's verdict invalidated the ruling party jointly led by Oli and Dahal, effectively reviving the former CPN-UML and CPN-Marxist Centre parties. This reduced Oli's government back to a coalition, further mounting political tensions in the country. The CPN-Marxist Centre recalled its ministers on 13 March 2021 and withdrew its support from the Oli government on 5 May 2021, effectively turning it into a minority government. On 10 May 2021, Oli failed to obtain a vote of confidence, gaining only 93 of the total 232 votes cast in the House of Representatives, which fell 43 votes short of reaching the 136-vote majority required to win the confidence vote. His status was subsequently converted to that of a Khadga Prime Minister until the appointment of another Prime Minister by the President. Third premiership. Oli was appointed Prime Minister for a third time on 30 May 2021 by President Bidya Devi Bhandari, albeit as a minority Prime Minister, as none of the opposition parties were able to form a majority government or lay their claim for it in the provided time frame. Following the dissolution of the House of Representatives by the President at midnight on 22 May 2021, the Oli government turned it into an interim government until new elections are held, which are scheduled for 12 and 19 November 2021. On 12 July 2021, the Constitutional Bench of the Supreme Court formed to hear writs against the dissolution of the House of Representatives filed by the opposition alliance. The Supreme Court stated that President Bidya Devi Bhandari's decision to dissolve the House of Representatives and the recommendation of Prime Minister Oli was unlawful and ordered the appointment of Nepali Congress President Sherpadya Dubey as Prime Minister within 28 hours. Recently, Oli has been appointed as chairman of CPN-UML from his party convention that happened in Chitwan. Electoral history. He has been elected to the Pratinidhi Sabha from CHOP in 1991, 1994, 1999, and 2017 on a CPN-UML ticket. He contested and won from 2 constituencies in the 1999 election and gave up his CHOP 6 seat. He lost the 2008 Constituent Assembly election, but was elected in 2013. Only the top 2 candidates are shown below. 1991 Nepalese general election. 1991 Nepalese general election. CHOP a 6-party CPN-UML. 1994 Nepalese general election. 1994 Nepalese general election. CHOP a 6-party CPN-UML Nepali Congress. 1999 Nepalese general election. 1999 Nepalese general election. Jopa 2-party CPN UML Nepali Congress. Jopa 6-party CPN UML Nepali Congress. 2008 Nepalese Constituent Assembly Election. 2008 Constituent Assembly Election. 2008 Constituent Assembly Election. Jopa 7-party Unified Communist Party of Nepal Maoist CPN UML. 2013 Nepalese Constituent Assembly Election. 2013 Constituent Assembly Election. 2013 Constituent Assembly Election. Jopa 7-party CPN UML Nepali Congress. 2015 Parliamentary Prime Minister Election. Party candidate vote status CPN UML KP Sharma Oli 338 elected. Nepali Congress Social Corolla 249 lost. 2017 Nepalese General Election. 2017 Nepalese General Election. Jopa 5-party CPN UML Nepali Congress. Personal life. Oli is married to Radhika Shakya. He met his wife, a fellow communist, after he was released from prison. They first met during party activities and married later. Health issues. Oli has twice undergone kidney transplant. The first transplant was done in 2007 in Apollo Hospital, New Delhi. The second transplant was carried out in 2020 in Tribhuvan University Teaching Hospital, Kathmandu. With the second transplant, he received kidney from 32-year-old Samakshi Sangrola, who is reportedly Oli's niece by relation. A senior transplant surgeon from New Delhi, who had done his transplant in 2007, was also present to assist the procedure in Kathmandu. Controversial claims. Oli is known for his tongue-in-cheek remarks and use of various slang and proverbs, often with double meanings and criticism, some directed to his own party. Oli claims he learned this technique during the Panchayat era when he was underground to entertain his colleagues. Some of his controversial claims are a supercomputer. February 2019, Oli claimed that the world is amazed by the supercomputer being built by Nepal. He was referring to a computer that was being built in the Bainbite epoch, which the makers have claimed to be a supercomputer in spite of its lacking computing power. Rhino and Mount Everest. August 2019, Oli claimed rhinoceros should be called using the Nepali word for the animal, Gainda instead of rhinoceros, and Mount Everest should be known as Sagarmatha by everyone. He said, "Do you know what Gainda? You people know Gainda as rhino, but rhinos are not rhinos, they are Gainda. I request you to remember this word Gainda." Indian coronavirus. May 2020, during the COVID-19 pandemic in Nepal, Oli had lashed out at India, saying that the Indian virus was more dangerous than the Chinese or Italian virus, and even made light of the Indian national emblem. He said this during an address to the parliament where he blamed the rising number of coronavirus cases on individuals breaking the nationwide lockdown, especially those sneaking into Nepal from India, claiming that people coming from India through illegal channels are spreading the virus in the country. This sparked a round of media attention in India. Sneeze out the virus. June 2020, while addressing the National Assembly, Oli claimed, "Corona is like the flu. If contracted, one should sneeze, drink hot water and drive the virus away," generating ridicule in the national media and social networks. He also claimed ginger, garlic and turmeric are known to have vitamins and antioxidants that can help boost the immune system to fight coronavirus. Lord Rama is a Nepali. July 2020, while addressing a function celebrating the 207th birth anniversary of Pope Bhanapatra, Oli said Lord Rama was born in Nepal and India had created a fake Ayodhya. He claimed Thori, a place near Burgunj in southern Nepal, to be the birthplace of Rama, and it was impossible for Rama to reach Janakpur in eastern Nepal to marry Sita from Ayodhya in India. He later ordered to investigate this matter, asking officials in the region to study about the whereabouts of Ayodhyapuri. He also claimed to have found strong evidences of the real Ayodhya, including ruins supposedly of Samtwagetai and Valmiki Ashram, both of whom are associated with Lord Rama. Yoga originated in Nepal, June 2021. On the occasion of International Day of Yoga on 21 June 2021, Oli claimed that yoga originated in Uttarakhand, and Nepal in particular. According to him, India as a country did not exist at the time when yogic science was founded. This caused a series of backlash from Nepali and Indian social media.